Hey everybody, New Leaf here. So Generation 5 and its TV content are officially over. And I really liked the show. We're gonna go over 3 things that I really liked about the show later. We do have to think though, what made them discontinue it? Well, if you look at the numbers, the TV shows are actually doing really well. My Little Pony as a brand throughout Generation 5 was pulling some really great numbers if you look at the relevant sources. But ultimately, My Little Pony is just a small fish in the big pond of products that Hasbro runs, and Hasbro itself hasn't been doing too well. So the show ultimately ending is nothing that we as bronies should even remotely feel responsible for. It's nothing that we could have changed.
So let's look back about this generation and what I liked so much about it.
When Generation 5 came around, it was super uncertain as to what we're gonna be getting, following the amazing movie, of course. And interestingly enough, we have 2 different series, which seems a little strange at first, and like it might be, working against each other, but both of those series complement each other surprisingly well. We have on one side Make Your Mark, which offers long episodes with 3D animation, great resolution, even details like the fuzziness of the characters. Seriously, look at this, you want to pet this. Which allows for some very cool and smooth storytelling. Also, the facial expressions are super intense, and it focuses on building a great story around the universe that the movie established. On the other hoof, though, we have Tell Your Tale, which offers a 5-minute quick experience with many episodes, releasing weekly, sometimes bi-weekly, which offered a very wacky, wild, and chaotic and crazy experience, which, interestingly enough, if you've only watched one of these 2 series, you would not be behind on what would be happening in the show. And yet, if you watched both of them, you would still see new content, which made it really cool to be able to watch both of them and still be entertained in a very unique way. The formats complement each other super well, and they are 2 different products, every pony. Never forget that those are geared as products that are supposed to be selling toys. And it's very curious because in a time where YouTube Shorts are the new cool thing, shorter formats are super successful, with Tell Your Tale falling exactly into this kind of content. Something that's been garnering many views. And on the other side you have Make Your Mark, which has this slow, movie-like feeling, and the best way to learn if something is gonna be cool is to give it a chance, and I suggest that for both of those series. They have their own unique charm, and they're a lot of fun to watch. And what brings both of it together? The writing. The writing has been an absolute cornerstone of the success of the show. We have a total of 1,000 minutes combining Make Your Mark and Tell Your Tale along with the movie, and that gives us potential for complex character development. Like example, we have Twilight Sparkle, who grew up as Princess Celestia's student at the beginning, who didn't like friends, to eventually becoming the Alicorn who would rule over all of Equestria at the end of Season 9. And we have characters that have some very deep journeys in this generation as well. In a way, both Sunny and Twilight didn't have an easy time making friends when they grew up, but for different reasons. For Twilight, it was choice, because she didn't want to have them interrupt her studies, but for Sunny, it was the way that she was born into. She was born as an Earth pony into a society where ponies were at odds with another. We even have her being at odds with her own Earth pony friends, even Hitch being sort of against it, and her dad would even leave her eventually. So she was about as alone as it could be. And she had to go the hard way, convincing everyone that she isn't crazy when she says that she believes that Earth ponies, unicorns, and Pegasi should be friends, that hope is important, that unity matters, and that she eventually goes ahead and comes full circle and uses this message of hope, of friendship, and unity to take down the evil Opaline Arcana. And this is her message in a nutshell.
Hope. Hope for a better future. For all ponies to make their mark.
And her having come so far to be able to say that message, fighting against all of the odds, makes her such a strong character. Another character that falls into this would be Misty, who grew up being kidnapped from her father, alone in captivity of Opaline, knowing nothing but self-doubt, fear, and what Opaline wanted her to know. Like other ponies being horrible and that Alicorns are supposed to rule, but the majority of her time is just growing up under this abusive pony who isn't even her parent. And when she meets the main cast, she of course is super scared because those are the other ponies she's been warned about. And it's all about her eventually letting go of these fears of the other ponies and understanding that they are really, truly good to her and want the best in her. And eventually, she manages to overcome her fears and doubts, accept these new ponies as her friends, and stand up to her abuser, and eventually reunite with her father all along, completing the circle. These are just 2 examples of characters that have grown massively in the show, and if you take a closer look, you'll notice this kind of growth with all of the main cast. And you should take a closer look and watch the show. But despite so much new content, despite so many cool characters, this generation managed to seamlessly integrate into Generation 4's future, giving us many references like Twilight Sparkle's holograms, Spike, the windows in Tell Your Tale as a very recent episode. This is an interesting level of integration that allows the show to both be exciting for those of us who know Generation 4 and yet still keep it mystical and exciting enough as well for newcomers without being confusing. And this was a smart choice to both keep existing audience and new audience enticed by this show. This gives us a nice balance between nostalgia and new things, though even we have reference all the way back to Generation 1, like this Heart Crystal. In an extended way, this allows a lot of people, all kinds of people who love ponies, to come together and enjoy the show, the content that we've been given. And it spreads every pony. On the conventions that you see all over the globe, we have Generation 4 and Generation 5 content, some of them even going all the way back to Generation 1. And it's nice to have the passion being shared, even in projects like this. And the sense of familiarity and family really allows us to come together for our own passions. And that is something that has never changed. Even if there's new and different ponies, they're still ponies. And we love them. That's the simple version. We love ponies regardless of which generation. They're colorful, they're adorable, and they deserve a lot of love. And that ray of hope and unity that Sunny also talks about is something that G5 truly inspires, and it inspired me as well. And this generation inspired me to getting into cooking, making smoothies, making cocoa, traveling to conventions, making new friends, just among many things that this generation has inspired. And you know, ponies have always been doing this. It's not just this generation, but ponies in general have inspired me. And that's why I urge you ponies to give Generation 5 a try, because you're missing out if you haven't given this a try. But at heart, I'm a gamer, and this Generation 5 has also been giving us a lot of games. Take a look at some of these. Game support in this generation has been super cool. We have been given the official Maritime Bay adventure game, which is a little made after the movie, I believe. A cool and quick story-driven game. And we even got a sequel, because the first one did really great integrating new characters like Misty and giving us a bigger story. And that just shows us that the show is doing really well when it comes to looking at performance. Showcasing everyone's favorite ponies in Maritime Bay setting. We have a mobile game, which also is pretty curious, but the creativity doesn't stop there. We of course have fans still making games till this day. Look at this, we even have this crazy meme version of a game. This is basically making a mockery of the Maritime Bay adventure game. So creativity in gaming is at an all-time high, even though Generation 4 is no longer actively getting new episodes and all that. And it is a cool thing to follow. We have projects like Battle Gem Ponies, which essentially is Pokemon with ponies. We have Sims in ponies. And look at this, even this kind of game. So there is so much to do out there. And there is so much content that is still being made. Despite the TV shows being done officially, we still have a comic book, we still have games that are officially being made, like the Roblox one that we've seen recently. So we don't know what's gonna happen in the future, especially with a lot of unreleased episodes. No one knows if suddenly someone's gonna be like, hey look, let's release them anyway. But ponies, we're gonna talk about all the unreleased stuff in another video, right, pony, because there's a lot to go over. Anyway, with that, I thank all you lovely ponies so much for watching and listening. Tell me about your thoughts about Generation 5. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. And remember, ponies, watch out for more ponies, ironically enough.